ahead and turn it on. All right, the meeting's called to order. Everybody say we'd like to welcome our guests. They're not here yet, so Robert, if you're the only guest, you want to say anything?
Well, I give up, Johnny.
Good, good. I'm proud to hear that. Okay. The minutes of the September 18th meeting are in your packet. Are there any additions or corrections to what's presented? Haven't heard none. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mark makes the motion.
Second.
Larry seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, Mary girl. Before we get started, I want to ask one question so I don't forget about it whenever we get to the deal. When you were quarterly report, you carry the accounts. Where is it? In our bank accounts, you still have it, the checking and the money market account under FNB. I was wondering if FNB doesn't exist anymore. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll go ahead and correct that.
Yeah, I just happened to see that and I thought, well, maybe there's a reason, but.
Yeah.
All right.
That's been a while. Thank you. First report is the investment report. We do have a CD coming due on maturity. That CD will go ahead and be reinvested. Also, we are carrying a high balance on our checking account, but that's going to get us through the remainder of the months before our tax statements go out and the revenue starts coming in for that. We also have several projects that we're working on that will also be needing the funds.
All right.
You know, you got it right on that page, didn't you?
Yeah, I noticed that. We send that other one to TC, whatever it is, TNRCC.
Whoever it
TCQ.
is. TNRCC.
That's way back.
Texas Water Commission, TWC.
It's a precursor to the big agency.
Well, we were going backwards, yeah.
That's the 1990s.
I'm living in the past.
No, TWC was about 1968, Texas Water Rights Commission.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they combined it, did. Yeah, there was the Board of Engineers before that. Jim remembers that.
Yeah.
Next is our balance sheet. The adjustment on the accounts receivable, Mr. Ivy, has been applied once the 2018 audit has been corrected. But there is a slight a journal entry that needs to be made due to that correction. As you see on accounting line 759, the balance is there. That's the amount that was removed.
The 543,500.
And the journal entry has already been made to correct this, and it'll be reflected on the next board.
Okay.
Our investment, our income statement report reflects the same amount on our budget report, and we can either look at that one first, or once we get to the budget report, we can also verify the income.
Whatever you want to do, man.
We're going to go ahead and wait.
Want to wait?
Yes.
Okay.
credit card report. Is there any questions?
I mean, the 500 check report. And the credit card report.
Yes.
We're looking at the 500?
Yes,
Other
Mr.
questions?
Simmons. Okay.
Mary, on page 2, line 31, what is TASC, what is the FSA?
That's our, it's reimbursement for medical, no, it's a medical card that we allow an employee to put in as a savings account for any out-of-pocket medical expenses.
For out-of-pocket, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a service fee.
Okay. And another that didn't ring my bell, the line 37, it says Weather Fest program, is that a donation for something?
Yeah, that was an event that we had with the Clint School District, Clint School District and KTSM Channel 9.
Educational.
Educational, yes. And we had 5 of our supervisors there. They gave presentations and were interviewed live on TV.
Okay.
Thanks for putting them in order now. Under the numbers on the left.
Yeah, the numbers on the left.
Make a difference.
I noticed A.W. Blair Engineering, you're caught up with this.
I did, I'm moving into biannual, or is it semi-annual? Semi-annual.
You could save a lot of ink if you just put one line and put the whole deal there, and the shock would be over. And
I've suggested that. I think she's got an out, some places a breakdown, we did, there's how much of that's reimbursable.
There.
But, do you guys remember what that was? A third of it's reimbursable?
Yeah.
So anyways, not you guys, but Chewy. I sent them an email with, I think the 25% or 30%.
means you're gonna pay us back, or what?
No, the state is.
The grant funding.
Mary would trust the state more than me to pay. So,
I don't know why.
On line item 2, what is that, the radio gate, and those, what kind of gates are those? How many is that?
That is 2 gates. That is reimbursable also. It's a project we're doing with International Boundary and Water Commission at Wasteway 2.
Which is,
What big radio gates?
Down Riverside. And
those big ones that go.
They're great big.
Yeah,
They have a pipe,
right.
so we get reimbursed for that.
Yes,
This is for 1 gate.
that is for 2 gates.
It's 2 gates in the same location.
And that's just half the price.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other parts. There's, the radio gate's pretty complicated. They have a lot of
Moving parts.
Yes, and this is a partial payment.
And is this local, this guy?
Yes, he manufactures up there close off of Sunset Drive.
Yes.
Yeah, it used to be Rick's Hot Rods, but
Yeah, so
Keep
we
producing
asked
it.
to get a new name.
We asked him to change the name, right?
The last one of his hot rods, Maria's driving it.
Not everybody knows the story, so.
She didn't know.
and he's producing gates not
Wasn't
only
that kind of
for us
hot
now,
rod?
but for the city of El Paso and so on. A lot of rock.
Sunset, such as.
His hot rods were welding rods.
Is it where the old
Do you know where the, well, behind it, you know where the police station is?
Yeah.
It's just about, what is it, Pete, like maybe 2, 3 buildings down on your
Right,
side?
and I know he just opened up a new location there in the same place. I haven't been up to the new location
But
yet.
it's on
but-
Sunset, not
but it's right
on
on Sunset, yes.
Yeah.
Hot rods meant welding rods, not cars.
Yeah. we've worked with him now for 20 years, right, getting to this point. We started with the really small radial gates on canals, you know, at, 5 to 10 feet apart, and then he's expanded in, we provide him detailed drawings in with all the weld specifications and stuff, so he's able to, I guess he's probably a certified welder, so obviously
Yes.
he knows how to read the drawing.
Father and son
Yeah.
team, they did actually used to produce hot rods.
Oh, they did?
Yes,
Okay. No, what's wrong?
We specify the
About
material.
30 years ago.
Okay.
So he knows, he's learned over the years by, like, we tell the strength of the steel, the type of steel, how it's rolled, how it's welded, what the gussets are. I mean, the whole drawings have everything in it. And so, and that's worked really to our advantage rather than leaving it open. There's only 2 other manufacturers in the whole United States, right? And their prices are about 3 to 5 times the
That's right.
That's
right. And plus, 6 to 9 months delivery schedule,
Right.
whereas this guy's hitting less than 60 to 90 days, so it's been a huge benefit to the district.
Getting them to respond to is just no problem.
Yeah, like you say. But a lot of the other one that's taken this approach is a little bit different is LCRA, and I work with them on these big radio gates. Of course, they have huge gates that they have to go out and on a company, but for their irrigation system is, and they have their own welding shop because they run power plants. I didn't realize LCRA actually has a small railroad, I guess we're calling that coal or the lead. And so they have, so these guys have a lot of experience with metal, and they're making their own radio gates now based on our drawings. Whatever. They're public documents, so.
Good.
Okay, Mary, I'd like to kind of hold it for just a second. We have a guest that came in that wanted to address the board this morning. Jerry? He signed it in. I guess we need to get his credentials first.
I signed in, I'm ready.
You're on. We'll give you the time, so I know you're busy.
I do apologize for arriving late. We thought it was
Your apologies not accepted.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, Jerry.
So here we go. We're going to have a bond election on November 4th, just like everybody else. We're asking for 4 cents per 100 valuation. So that's on an average $100,000 home, it's $40 a year. Okay. Why are we asking this? When we first started the district, we started the district on bond issuances that were upwards of 16 cents per 100. And that got us some grant components that matched our funding. A lot of it was 75, 25, 25 on our behalf, 75 on behalf of the funding agencies. Now we've grown, things are different. There's not very many grants around. We still have some relationships with the counties, with the county and other agencies where they do match somewhat, okay? Especially if we go with green projects. So our tax rate for those monies that we borrowed a long time ago has been going steadily down. It went from the initial 16% to we're enjoying a less than 4% tax rate now for the money. So as we're paying the debt down, our tax rate's going down. What we realized at the Lower Valley Water District is there's got to be a happy medium. And we looked at approximately 8% being something that can be tolerated by customers, while at the same time reasonable for us to set our long-range plans on the projects we still have to do. So what are these projects? The projects themselves are projects that fell through and weren't funded by the Colonia grants, by the various other grants that look at the cost per resident as a primary factor for allocating these monies. So we're looking at areas like the valley, where you have fewer customers on these long stretches of road that require significant infrastructure. We plan to do all of that with the money. What we have to do is, if we look at just North Loop, you've got segments of North Loop that have water infrastructure, and then segments that have nothing for miles, and then another segment that has water infrastructure. None of it is connected, and we find ourselves having to flush those lines constantly to keep the water safe. Our project, our bond funding request is to put all of these lines together, Alameda, Socorro Road, North Loop, all the way to the port of entry and then bring them all back in loop. If we have the money to do those projects, then the people that fall along those areas will get water. And it would be funded by us instead of funding agencies that won't give us the water because it's just too expensive to provide water to such small groups of people. Now, the sewer infrastructure is a different story. We're trying to remove all of the septic systems from our district and connect them to something. Number one would be El Paso Water, since we have a very good agreement with them, and they've been able to carry any of our sewer needs up until the present. The second is to provide smaller plants. We're starting one in Cuadrilla. I don't know if you see the construction now. We're working up Cuadrilla. It's 26 residents. It's going to be a small package plant that's going to produce purple pipe water. And then we're going to reuse that water somehow. We'll find a way to reuse it. The other one is going to be in Mesa del Norte. I think there's something that you need to know as a board, is our project has been plagued with all kinds of delays in Mesa del Norte, primarily because the county is envisioning expanding the airport up there. They've already had a public meeting, and their plans include just changing the route of North Loop, which affects you as a district and a lot of you as farmers and owners of property in the valley. So the next public meeting will be soon. As we find out about it, we'll let Mr. Reyes know so that he can advise you guys that this is happening. We've already seen some of the drawings. I think the county would make those available to you and show you what it looks like.
I don't think I'm the answer.
They are. They're going like this. Yes, sir.
Sandhills out there.
I know.
Back to the.
I mean,
I
you
just
got
thought
a
I'd
land
mention-
that doesn't have anything.
That delayed our sewer project in Mesa Norte significantly. So we're working out a plan, it's like a plan G, it's not even B anymore. So many things that happen that affect us. So that's what we're doing with the money. We plan to stay at 8 cents per 100 evaluation from here on in. That's all we're going to ask for, and we can manage those projects and get water and sewer to everybody in our district. And that's it.
Well, that's good. You guys do good work. We're always happy to work with you. It's been a real pleasure, and there's a lot of things that are mutually beneficial, which one some of the things you're talking about, and we always appreciate you coming and sharing your project with us and for your help.
Thank you, sir.
A great friend.
Appreciate it. These are the small number of projects that we have undertaken for the purposes of receiving the bond issuance. We still have another $50 million outstanding in projects that we have yet to do. So we'll continue this on every 5 years or so and keep coming and asking the voters for money to remain at 8%, 8 cents per 100, and finish the project for people that just still don't have water or so.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a good day.
Thank you. Right.
Okay, Mary, you're back on.
Any more questions on the check?
Don't think so.
I was gonna make a comment, though. Lisa, this time it was you with all the professional development. What's all that?
Yes.
She's a professional.
Y'all taking turns on that, huh?
Yes, Rose and I had a San Antonio trip, and Sonia for her TAO conference, so
Okay,
that's what that
that's what that
was.
was, okay.
And then she also made the arrangements. We sent 5 assistant supervisors to the Rio Grande tour that the Bureau of Reclamation put
Up
together.
in,
Yeah, all the way from the start of the Rio Grande Dam.
We haven't heard from them since, but.
So it included.
I say Robert's here, you didn't say that.
Robert didn't go.
Travel Hotel and,
Actually, Mr. Estes will reflect on next month.
on next month?
Yes,
So, Chewy's getting us ready for next week.
yes.
But I thought it was a great opportunity to, there was
it's a great trip.
62 people that,
I took it one time with one of our compact commissioner, Jess Gilmer.
Yeah, that's, well, it snowed on them.
It was a real trip when we went with Jess.
62?
there were 62 people from the Bureau, Mexico, ourselves, and the only ones that didn't attend were EBID.
Nobody from India?
Yeah.
What's it for?
It's from the start of the Rio Grande all the way down, and all the gauging stations, the lakes and so on.
And there's all kinds of lakes that are flood retention lakes and all kinds of stuff that was really interesting. Whenever people talk about what's going on, you have a real good idea of what they're talking about. The San Juan Chama deal and.
Was it like a tour on a bus or what?
Yeah,
It's
this
four-wheel
one,
drive.
this one was on a bus.
I guess they didn't go up to the top.
The one that Al and I
did,
went-
'cause they shut the road down. It
And
snowed.
Herman Settermeyer we went in Maitapo, and EBID took their Suburban.
They probably just went to the end of the paved road because
Man.
this is pretty late in the year to be doing
Narrow road
this
going
stuff.
under.
It's dangerous. I mean, I think during that event that happened, that last storm that came through, I would imagine the pass it snowed over a foot, so I'm sure they shouldn't have passed.
Yeah, the
it.
guy said it was pretty cold.
It was something to see.
Yeah, it's a nice tour though. Next year, they're supposed to have it again, and I'll bring it to the board, so maybe
It
if
is,
we want
it
to
is,
go over.
you know, I think going over the pass is sort of the highlight of the trip, which to do that, we have to do it in August, late July or August, the
Yeah.
only time you can do it.
Last year, actually, they wanted to go last year. They had it scheduled for last year, but they wanted to go in November, and I said, no, you guys are asking for trouble.
Yeah, that case, the paved road's closed down.
The only thing I really remember about the trip is when we got into Colorado, Jess took the sign off, it said Texas Rio Grande Compact Limited off his truck, and showed me that all of the gauging stations were armor plated, and they had them all in, so they wouldn't get shot. Because the Colorado guys don't much want that water going by, they don't like the deal.
Yeah, we've all had magnetic plates for a long time.
Legal and consulting fees budget. We're gonna have to start adding more pages to that.
It's almost over, isn't it, for this year?
Start over. Boo. Any questions of that, guys? I guess not, Mary. Do our quarterly report, we need to approve that, right? Anybody have any questions of Mary about the investment report, quarterly investment report, other than we're gonna change the name?
So, Mary, you had one maturity date, 10/5. We've already, what have we done with that?
We'll be reinvesting.
Okay, and then we have another one on the 10/15. Same
That
deal?
is the treasury bill,
That's a trip.
which, it matures, it goes directly back into our account. So at that time, I want to reinvest.
Okay.
Your reinvestment, is that gonna be with West Star, or is it gonna be with the treasury?
The treasury bill, the one that matures on the 15th, will continue to
No,
reinvest
the
the
one
treasury
on the
bill.
5th, the one
The
that's
one on
already
the
matured.
5th, I would like to still have a few CDs with West
West
Star.
Star. Well, they came up with a 2 last time.
They did.
Will they do it again?
Yeah.
We'll see,
Yes.
it'll be interesting. I wanna tell you, I can see those guys have a heart attack up there whenever you took that much money out of that place.
They did.
I can hear it in the boardroom. What happened? What's going on?
What's our 1 year rate right now on the T-bills? 2.4, 2.3?
No, it's not even 2, it's below.
Oh, on the one?
Yeah, I wanna say 160, somewhere in there.
On the TV?
Yeah,
It's going down
it's all the way down to 160.
It's dropped a lot.
Yeah. from last year.
So the CD might be more favorable.
So if the CD comes in,
Well, she needs it anyway, she wants it to be
Yeah.
accessible.
just don't, yeah.
And you can always cash them in.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to approve the quarterly investment report presented?
So moved.
Mike makes a motion,
Second.
Larry seconds, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. All right, analysis of available funds. That's where you wanted to go, Mary?
I would like to leave that as the final report and go to the approval of the engagement letter for
Okay.
EPCWID1. We are at the end of our fiscal, and this letter needs to be accepted and approved in order for us to continue their ongoing services, which they are scheduled to come in at the end of the month.
And you all are satisfied? Do I hear a motion to approve the engagement letter? Or the engagement of the firm? Either way.
So moved.
George makes a motion, do I hear a second? Larry seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And Mr. Stubbs will need to sign the original.
I'll be ready.
Okay.
All right.
The next item is our TCDRS employee contribution rate. We are set a rate every year based upon how the plan is doing and also the contributions we're making as well as our employee salaries. And this rate is adjusted every January. Our rate has gone down slightly from 3.41% to 3.14%, but we would like to keep the rate at 3.41 so that we continue to meet our liability and our rate does not fluctuate drastically each year. So they do require a board approval in order to keep the rate at the 3.41.
Anybody have any problem with that?
What's the options?
For me?
What's the option?
Our rate went down for employer contribution for the TCDRS retirement plan. It went down from 3.41 to 3.14, but we would like to keep the rate at 3.41% in order to continue to apply more funds to the liability that we have, and we don't have a drastic change in rate every year. It keeps us steady.
It keeps it consistent. All right with me.
That's all right with me.
Do I hear a motion? You all right with it?
I'm all right with it. Larry and I looked at this the other day. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I need a motion.
Second.
To leave, okay, and George second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, and that's to leave the rate at 3.41.
I've got a little, we just have a video problem that I need to take care of real quick. I need to get Mary to email me the budget so I can put it on the screen and get, we can do that, so. Guess there may be an item we can go to while we're in.
Okay.
Were we going to the budget?
We were gonna look at.
That was the next item on her presentation. So what, do we have another item on the agenda we can turn to?
Yeah, roses.
Or probably
Yeah, we
roses?
can do roads.
We have to approve the budget first before we go to the tax.
Oh, yeah, right, we gotta do the tax rate.
Okay.
You don't have any adjustments, right?
No, sir, but I can.
Yeah, you can do your other parts of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Do the rest of it until we, and then we'll do the last part of it.
Visualize that. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have played.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, there are no tax adjustments.
Just wait. Should have to do bills.
Yes, sir.
And then for information purposes, we have the 2013 through 2019 public service board assignments, also the Lower Valley Water District assignments, and then the tax suits. You have any questions on my report?
Well, I would comment on the tax rate under tab D. We don't have an allocation charge in statute, and I think, Al, what do you think, shouldn't that be water assessment?
No, we've gone through this many times, we're using the language right out of the statute. It's a charge, I think it uses charges,
Yes.
fee,
Yes, charge and fee.
and
They're
fee.
both on there.
They're both there.
Yes.
Well, all I'm saying is, this phrase, allocation charge, doesn't appear in the statute.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Allocation charge?
Charge, it includes for water delivery.
Okay,
and-
all I'm saying
And we,
is the
we worked
word
with you to put the
allocation.
word allocation in it over the years. But that is directly, we've reviewed, spent time reviewing, that's the term that we've determined is most appropriate for the statutes to use for that.
And we've been using it a long time.
And they allow you to use the word fee, and the reason we didn't use fee is we have accounting fees and service fees that are administrative, and we felt that that would confuse people, so statutes allow you to use the word charge or fee. And we-
I don't mind charge, it's the word allocation that bothers me.
It's a water delivery charge for their allocation.
I wouldn't worry about it, Jim, we've been doing it a long time, so.
I wouldn't do it for the statute.
Well, I know you wouldn't, but we're gonna continue to.
Why don't you stick with the statute?
We are.
We are.
If you take out the word allocation, you make miscellaneous charges. But
No.
allocation is just dead wrong.
No, it's not dead wrong, but having said that, it is a water delivery charge for the allocation. That's the out of the statute.
I don't think there's a problem.
Okay.
Well, allocation,
Jim,
you're
we're not- we're
illegally
okay.
assessing your rate.
Jim, we're all right. Okay. Okay, Rose, continue where you're at.
So, any
And you
questions
have no
on,
necessity to do that.
any questions on the report for PSB, Lower Valley, or tax suits?
Still going on good in the Lower Valley.
185.
Yes, we got it. Yes, sir, we did.
That's, I could almost give old Jerry a kiss while he was here.
That's not a bad.
That's great.
That's
great.
Our next report, also for information purposes, is our comparison.
Jim, hold down, okay? That's over with. Go ahead.
Okay, our next report is tax comparison between 2017 tax assessment and 2018.
Right.
October of 2018, we were at 98.5184%. We are now at 98.6985%.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really amazing, and that may have something to do with the Lower Valley.
It does, sir. Yes, it
So
does.
if they really come to the bat, and get that thing done, that'll really help that whole deal up.
So that's all I have, and then we'll go to Mary.
We're not ready to go to Mary, sorry.
All right, let's go on then to,
And I guess to mine,
Yeah, do yours, and I'll talk for
your own.
all right. Item A, I don't know if you wanted to discuss that in the close. It's the NWRA conference. It's always held in San Diego. This year it's being moved to Houston.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
shucks.
And
What is it, the Del Camino, what is it?
yeah,
Del Coronado.
One of those.
Del Coronado?
Del Coronado is
No more of that.
No
We're
more
going
of
to
that.
Houston.
Robert's sad because Robert had made the trip with me the last couple of
That's
years.
an 8 play.
But
Later in Houston, I promise you.
it's November 6th through the 8th. I've gone ahead and I've made a request to meet with the commissioner. You know how they give those 15 minutes? And the two subjects that I put down was, I wanted to talk about grant funding and thank her and so on the grants that we've been able to get. And then item number 2, I listed the Texas, New Mexico, Colorado lawsuit, just in case we needed to visit with her.
We always need to visit about that. That's great. So you made reservations, you know?
Yes, I've made reservations.
You're not gonna take Robert because he doesn't like Houston.
Actually, Robert is
Corpus
going
guy.
with me on this. And then I've listed Al to join us on the meeting with the commissioner, and I don't know if there'll be any other board member that would like to go.
It'd be nice to take a board.
Yeah,
It would, I mean,
okay,
Not to use it.
okay, all right,
I
so
don't wanna go.
Al, Robert, and I will handle it.
I might have wanted to go to the Del Coronado route.
San Diego and San Francisco.
This is going to be held at the, where do they have that skating ring and the gallery?
The Galleria.
And it's rumored that in Houston, it won't be any hotter than 90 degrees in December or November.
And hopefully the hurricanes will be gone by then.
Probably be flooding.
No rain.
Yeah, well, I just can't guarantee that. I just said lower than 90 degrees.
And then, item B, we wanted to move that to the closed discussion on property.
You got some
Yes. And that's why I have, unless you all have any questions of me.
All right, we're back. High technology's kind of,
Are we ready to do this now?
we're ready.
God bless you. Again, 1, 2, 3. How many? 5, 7.
It's just, it's good to go.
Welcome, Brother Miller.
Thank you. Better than me.
Hey, I do have a question for Hudspeth, is that when is too much water?
When it rains a lot.
Well, you've had that.
Right now, it's too much water.
It's like having too much fun or too much money.
No, I think there is a point where there's too much water.
But they've been, I guess they've been praying to the right person. Because they've gotten all the rain here lately.
I don't know about it, it's right when you can't use it anymore that we send you all the water, right?
Yeah, and we should have sent the rain up above Elephant Butte.
Right,
That's right.
Hitting the wrong spot.
What's new? Okay, you guys.
Do you want me to walk down this one, or do you want to do this one?
Doesn't matter. This is our summary, report that shows, what we expect to receive as of October 31st, compared to what we had received last year, as well as our expected or proposed revenues and expenses. Our estimated change in available funds from 2018 to 2019 is $3,049,682, slightly low.
So that means we're adding that to reserves.
Correct. And the next section, our estimated revenues, we're proposing $11,787,200 to include our full allocation for the 2011 implement contract.
So that base is, this is a rarity that we've been able to do this at this point, but we have the final allocation for this year, which there's a significant amount of water that we will do a transfer to EPCWID under the operating agreement of quite a bit of water. We don't have the numbers in yet, but it will be significant, but that's the way that it works. Having said that, the watershed conditions are very favorable right now in terms of moisture in the system. We never know about snow at this time, but we do have some, not much. But all indications are, and even if we take a historic low inflow between now and March, we'll be very close, if not over. To how I'm trying to say this, just like an insurance salesman says, is that we will pay, but we want to think about it before we pay. But Robert's probably looked at it, and then, what do you get, 99.9%? I don't see, I see very low probability that we won't have a full allocation.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very close to it right now. And all indication, if I take the lowest on record inflows for the next 3 months, 4 months, every indication is by March 1st, there's more than enough for a full allocation. So we have in the account now enough probably for 3.5, 3.7, something like that. So you see, I don't need very
You
much.
base this on 4.
Excuse me?
You base the budget on 4.
Yeah, I base the budget on full. Because it has such a huge impact on the 2001 compact. If it's 3.5 versus 4, we're over 3.5. I can say that right now. So we went to 4 is what our assumption is in this budget, with very, very limited risk. But I can't say that there isn't some, but it's so small that it's hard for me to calculate.
Well, the dam could break.
Yeah, well, there's always that risk, or a complicated risk. In that case, all bets are off. Yeah. But that's that force majeure clause. But this is, my probabilities aren't based on force majeure, they're just based on what we have right now. I mean, we'll be at full, obviously, we're going full carryover. There's no issue on that.
And for George's, we have our max carryover is 232,836.
Yeah. Also,
because of the operating agreement.
That's why you said it didn't affect it extending the column kind of.
Right, that's
Right.
running time.
So anything over that, by the operating agreement, we have to transfer to EBID.
Yeah, but also understand that the way we set up the operating agreement is at 790,000, we don't allocate it anymore.
Right.
So there's more county water be released this year, which is part of that 790,000, plus what's in storage today. There's more than 790. That means that immediately upon finishing this year, we'll get another allocation. They usually do that in December. So that number I can calculate, because it's water in the reservoir. And so, we don't know the final compact accounting, but the indications aren't, that there's estimates of that.
Did they store a lot of water?
I hadn't checked that. They had stored some. They had some.
After release it by a certain.
They had some mechanical problems on Votto, which we knew about, so they weren't able to use that for much storage. Abacu and Heron they did use, and it was a big runoff, guys.
Yeah.
So everybody benefited. So I'm just telling you, it's, I don't know how many 9s are after the 99, but it's several that there's a full allocation, and that's what Mary and I felt it was reasonable to make that in the budget.
I do too.
We can't announce a full allocation, but I would expect on December, as soon as we make the allocation in December, you'd be able to, if you want to announce it that early, you might be able to. Definitely sometime in the January, February time range, so, to get that water out there. And I think the big issue that we have, and Pete and Robert, is when we start the year. But
When is the release? The early release is gonna be
we don't know yet, but we're talking March 15th, is that right?
March 15th usually works pretty good.
I think there was somebody lobbied for February 15th. Is that the big guy?
Well, I think we always kind of went on based on orders too.
Yeah.
On demand?
On demand.
Yeah, so we'll have we have plenty of time to make those
There may be a
decisions.
lot of ground going back in that hasn't been, so you may need to irrigate some of them earlier.
Maybe it'll dry out by February.
It's gonna rain though, Larry, all winter.
All winter.
Right after you get them all in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, those are all great news. It's great to have those problems. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyways, let you know that this was based on a full allocation for 2020. It doesn't have any of the, as standard policy, we do not forecast any real property sales. And we have one or more of those on the books. And then as being conservative, it forecasts a lot of expenses that historically, as you can see, we've always been able to outperform, but you want us to take a conservative approach on the whole budgets. That means that we underestimate revenues and we overestimate expenses.
And this is based on the proposed tax rates, right?
Yeah, this is based on no change, which means that the
I missed that while ago. I missed
the
that.
dollar amounts haven't changed at all. That means effectively, because of the cost of the value of the dollar from inflation, that those are actually lowering the effective rate of the taxes. We've added a new word to this, the word effective up here, and Mary and I ran into this, and this is kudos to Rose and to Jerry that was here, is that the Lower Valley, and to some degree PSB, or it's really, it has to do with past taxes, so that the acreage number goes up because she's reflecting significant revenues on acreage from years in the past. So I know this is a little confusing. So we have 69,010 taxable acres, of which any time some aren't taxable because of various reasons, bankruptcies, all sorts of things. But at the same time, in this category of revenues, we're bringing in historic taxes. Delinquencies, right. And so all of a sudden that, to make this work, we have to up the acreage because we're getting money in from years past. And that had been pretty small historically, and this last year was so big that we had to, had to adjust that number. So Rose, when you see that number, that's actually an effective number, not the actual number, which is lower.
Yes.
But that's to reflect that the number of acres are coming in from previous years. So that's good.